Not only was Taylor Swift subpoenaed, her reps just got caught lying about Taylor's involvement in the movie. Taylor was involved the whole time. So if you're mad at anybody, be mad at Blake. Blake, who is clearly a snake. And I do think Taylor wasn't really as aware of how snaky Blake was.
Okay, buckle up because things just exploded in the Blake Lively and Taylor Swift universe. Blake is in complete meltdown mode, y'all. And it's all because Taylor just exposed her shady past behavior in the most brutal, public way possible. And honey, let me tell you, it's not looking cute.
Oh, no, you can't be mad at Brian Freeman or Justin for being subpoenaed, Taylor. It's all this girl.
So while Taylor's team is out here doing damage control with the whole I wasn't even there like narratives, insiders are spilling the tea that Blake dragged Taylor into this disaster just to flex their friendship like a celebrity status symbol. And now, Blake's stuck with a subpoenaed bestie, a demolished public image, and a spotlight that is burning way too hot to handle. Let's be clear though, Taylor may have been pulled into the chaos, but the mess didn't start with her.
Her reps, sources close to her, like reps for Taylor, have spoken to a lot of outlets, so it seems like this is coming from her team, not just some source.
Taylor only got dragged into this legal whirlwind around It Ends With Us after things were already spiraling. The moment she was subpoenaed, her team dropped a cold, calculated statement shutting everything down, claiming she had zero involvement.
She's being feisty. She's fighting back, saying Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. No one ever said you were on set of the movie, for the record, just to be clear. I've talked to the crew.
They said she never stepped foot on set, had nothing to do with casting, and didn't shape the film creatively. Her only tie to the movie, the licensing of her haunting track, My Tears Ricochet.
But she was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. That's not true. She did not score the film. That's true. She did. There's rumors, though, that she had the person fired. I don't know if that's actually true. I think that was Blake.
But honey, not everyone's buying that. Multiple insiders have spilled that Taylor's denial was all about legal protection, not the truth. And get this, sources close to the production say Taylor didn't make that decision on her own.
She never saw an edit or made any notes of the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us, ouch, until weeks after its public release, and it was traveling around the globe during 2023, 2024, headlining the biggest tour in history. Now,
allegedly, it was Blake who pushed Taylor to distance herself publicly to avoid any liability. With the legal heat rising, Taylor gave in, not because it wasn't true, but because admitting anything could have opened a Pandora's box of legal drama.
Now, look, here's the comment that her rep's putting out there, but here's the fact. And we got to focus on the second part. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
She told me Taylor Swift helped her get the role, like signed off on her audition.
I had brought in, I was casting, and I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor.
In private convos with close friends, Taylor reportedly confessed she didn't want to lie. But Blake had roped her in early on, in little ways that now look super sketchy. If Taylor were to confirm any involvement, like even just commenting on a casting choice, she could be forced to testify.
And they were both like, yes, her. And that's a true story.
She told.
So not only did Justin say that.
Did I hear that Taylor may have had some influence in getting
Yes, she did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world.
Worse, she could be accused of influencing a project that's now legally under fire. Her legal team begged her to deny everything, so while Taylor's public stance screamed no involvement, behind the scenes, she was fuming. Furious that things spiraled this far.
I have no words.
And then it really hit the fan. Two key witnesses, yes, two, stepped forward and flat out contradicted Taylor's official version. Director and co-star Justin Baldoni spilled in an interview that Taylor did see Isabella's audition tape. In fact, both Taylor and Blake approved Isabella for the role.
Now, does that mean she was involved in the casting process? No. She chimed in on an audition tape. Probably likely. Semantics is what we're arguing here, but you were more involved than you want to claim to be is the reality.
So now the big question is, how much power did Taylor actually have? Especially since Isabella herself later said Taylor was a rock for her the entire time. Like present, involved, emotionally invested.
And there were moments about you being involved, not only there, but involved in the screenwriting parts as well.
It feels like a big, beautiful summer movie, but like we didn't have any budget. So it feels like a big, beautiful summer movie, but like we didn't have any budget.
Even Blake called Taylor someone who lived this with me. That's not a casual comment. That screams deep creative and logistical involvement, not just some casual moral support from afar.
I mean, honestly, she was with me on this experience the whole time.
The whole time Taylor was with her on this experience.
But in her statement, Taylor said she never saw edits, gave zero feedback, had no creative say. So how does that square with multiple people saying otherwise?
I don't know how true that is, because we know Blake likes to overextend how much Taylor actually does for her. But this is Blake now putting it on the record. Taylor was involved the whole time. So if you're mad at anybody, be mad at Blake.
Now, here's where it gets dicey. Emails, calls, behind the scenes convos. None of it's public yet, but insiders say there's digital proof Taylor was involved way earlier than anyone wants to admit.
All throughout it, so like she really lived this with me.
She lived this with me all throughout it.
Yeah, she was, she's a person who shows up for you. And
if that evidence comes out, game over. It'll prove Taylor's denial wasn't about truth. It was about covering herself legally. And it'll expose Blake's push to keep her bestie tied to the film just from the shadows.
She shows up for you.
So grateful to have
her love and support.
That love and that support.
So, no, you can't be mad at Brian Freeman or Justin for being subpoenaed Taylor. It's all this girl.
At this point, Taylor's stuck. If she tells the truth, she risks ruining her rep and throwing Blake under the bus. But if she stays quiet, she looks like she's lying and complicit. It's a no-win trap, and Blake put her there. And the kicker, Taylor admitted in an interview that Blake was with me through the whole process when it came to my tears ricochet being used in the movie. Girl, that's confirmation. So what is it? Were you deeply involved or not? But let's not forget, this isn't the first time Blake has name-dropped Taylor to boost her own image. Since mid-2023, she's been strategically planting Taylor's name in press interviews to give the movie weight. Everyone saw through it. Because Taylor never agreed to be the film's silent spokesperson. She never signed a deal, never did an endorsement. Her label, Republic Records, said it plainly in October 2023. The only official connection Taylor had was the use of one song. That's it. But the rumors kept swirling, and when the subpoenas hit in April 2024, that was the final straw. Taylor's team had had enough. According to Variety, her reps slammed the idea that she was involved as a complete mischaracterization. But the damage, it was already done. Fan posts going back to October 2023 showed people buying tickets specifically because they believed Taylor had a hand in casting. That rumor was never corrected until legal filings made it unavoidable. And Taylor? She was done because what felt like friendship turned into betrayal. According to Daily Mail, Taylor confided to close friends that Blake had used her, straight up, used her name, her clout, her army of fans to get attention for the movie. And then when things got messy, Blake threw Taylor under the legal bus. Need more proof? Travis Kelce, Taylor's man, unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on Instagram in April 2024. That's right, Travis said, nope, and hit that unfollow button. Fans caught it immediately, and if you know anything about Swiftie culture, and yet here Blake was, bragging in press interviews about how Taylor was with me through the whole process. Meanwhile, Taylor was scrambling to lawyer up, and just when we thought it couldn't get worse, boom, Daily Mail drops a headline on May 12, 2024 that makes jaws hit the floor. Blake allegedly called Taylor a dragon who helped seal the deal. That quote, ripped straight from an internal production memo, was used during a funding pitch back in 2022. Blake was literally invoking Taylor's power to close financial deals. Taylor's name was being sold like leverage, not friendship. Two insiders told Rolling Stone that memo was never meant to see daylight. But once Justin Baldoni's legal team got their hands on it during discovery, it got leaked. And now Taylor knew. She hadn't just been name-dropped, she'd been marketed. Calling Taylor a dragon may sound like a compliment, but in this context, it was a red flag. It wasn't about admiration. It was about weaponizing her name to move money and secure power. Taylor had been played, and she knew it. And what did she do? She cut Blake off. Sources told Variety and Entertainment Tonight that Taylor no longer considers Blake a friend. One insider said she feels blindsided and used. This went too far. And honestly, can you blame her? Because let's talk legal stakes. Hollywood Reporter confirmed that even limited involvement could get Taylor hauled into deposition. If she approved casting, sat in a meeting, or gave any feedback, it's on record. It's not gossip anymore. It's evidence. Meanwhile, Blake, girl had the audacity to be seen strolling through Tribeca with a coffee and a smile on May 10th. Yep, just days after claiming in legal documents that she was so emotionally wrecked she couldn't leave the house, she's out here doing a pap walk. Strategic doesn't even begin to describe it. Paparazzi trackers on X, formerly Twitter, confirmed the photos were taken at one of Blake's go-to PR drop spots. She's used that exact sidewalk before. And now, without security, dressed down in a hoodie, minimal makeup, and a Louis Vuitton crossbody that screamed rich girl pretending to be relatable, she paraded for the cameras. Public sympathy walk? Please, YouTuber Shash Flo went in on her, calling it the sympathetic Blake agenda. Her 12-minute roast racked up 500,000 views in 48 hours. And the bag? Don't even get people started. The Louis Vuitton Petite Mal, a purse that cost more than a car down payment, was roasted across Reddit. One top comment said, trying to give relatable mom vibes while holding a bag that could pay off my student loans. It wasn't just about the fashion. It was the calculation, the curated vulnerability, the image manipulation, the same tactics Blake used during her 2018 press tour for a simple favor. And people weren't falling for it this time. Oh, and while she's crying trauma in court, she's also posting on Instagram, once for Betty Buzz, once for a charity message, both with comments turned off. Another PR tactic exposed by Shash Flo, who said, turning off comments isn't about peace, it's about control. And let's not forget the social shifts. Blake, once surrounded by celeb BFFs, is now excluded. When Gigi Hadid threw her 30th birthday bash at Zero Bond in NYC, Taylor was there, Sabrina Carpenter was there, Anthony Porowski was there. Blake, not even a whisper. TMZ reported Blake's name was never on the list, and people only gave her absence a tiny footnote. The same Gigi who once vacationed with Blake didn't even consider her. Even Seth Meyers took a swipe. In a blink and you'll miss it joke during a correction segment, he said, "Maybe I didn't read the subpoena." The crowd laughed. But the shade was clear. And why was Blake even on Seth's show in April to begin with? Veteran PR insiders say it wasn't just a booking. It was pressure. Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds, owns Mint Mobile, a regular sponsor of Seth's show. Conflict of interest? You decide. At this point, everything Blake touches turns into backlash. The pap walks, the PR stunts, the sympathy plays, the poor me image. The public isn't buying it anymore. What worked in 2016 doesn't work in 2024. And Taylor, she's finally done letting her name be dragged into this mess. Because Blake's narrative is unraveling fast. And this time, it's not just the cameras watching. It's the courts, too.